up, y'all? It's your boy T-Wit, and we're here, and I just wanted to talk about what happened today at the Mr. Olympia Press Conference. Just so happens that just like how they used to do back when Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler and Country Slick Knop and all those guys were competing, two guys, or no, three I think, actually, got up on stage, took their shirts off, and posed down. Nobody's done this since those guys used to do it back in the early 2000s, because everybody's like, oh no, I don't want to show myself, I don't want people to know what I look like, I want to keep it a surprise. I mean, there are a lot of guys that can surprise us, but overall it's really because they're like, I'm not ready yet. The majority of these guys that don't get up and do that or don't want to do it is because they're not full, they're not 100% dry yet, they're just not ready. And so they're like, I don't want people to get this idea of me before I'm actually on stage. The other thing is, they haven't done the synthol that they're gonna shoot, because a lot of them do that. Haven't put any, Nolotol or whatever Rich Piana people say, they use, they haven't done any of that stuff. So we still have a while to see these, for these guys to actually be at their best. But today we had Kevin Levrone and Cedric McMillan, and then actually Josh Lenardowitz got up on stage with them, and they took their shirts off and they posed down. They hit them most muscular, like a crab, most muscular, hand over fist, and then a back double bicep and back lat spread. And I mean, it was very fun, very, very playful, and it's definitely got the hype up. Everybody's talking about it. But the fact of the matter is Cedric looks very, very good. Cedric looks like he's conditioned, and that's one thing that everybody always talks about. If Cedric's conditioned, he's very, very hard to beat. I actually don't think that he should have lost to Kai Green and the Arnold this year. I think that Cedric should have probably placed higher than Kai. But Cedric, I mean, he's taller, so he just has overall better structure, really, really good lines, good flow through his body. So if he brings up his legs and has condition, I mean, he's really, really hard to beat. And then Kevin is definitely in shape. Like, I mean, everybody knew that Kevin Levrone was going to be in shape. That's his thing. Like, he was in shape 4 weeks ago. The fact of the matter now was, detail, putting on more muscle, because that's what he could do. From the front, he looks great. I posted a picture on Instagram today, and I just posted a picture of the Posedown, but of him earlier today that he posted that said shaboom, how he does a boom, that thing. So he said that was his caption, and he looked great from the front. Nobody is yet to see the legs. He was walking around yesterday, and we saw a video of him walking around at the athletes meeting, and he actually, you can't tell. I mean, it's hard when a guy's wearing sweats and a sweatshirt, and they're, I mean, they kind of, you can't really tell. But to me, his legs look a little down, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. But from the front, he looks great, and then he turned around, and this was, I mean, I've been watching a lot of, old Kevin Levrone videos to see, okay, what would this old Kevin Levrone look like next to a Phil Heath, next to a Dexter Jackson, I mean, next to a Sean Roden, who I think could by far win this show. And his back is always, while it's been really, really good, I can see why he never beat Dorian Yates. I mean, Dorian Yates had a back that was just out of this world. But so we'll see. I mean, Kevin, but like I said, so when you turn around, I mean, so flat. Like, even if he carved up, I don't know how great that back's gonna look. He looked like he was holding water at the under at the back, on his bottom back. And he looked like he had no separation in his upper back. Like, I mean, like there was nothing going on there. And while I would love to see him win the Olympia, I think that would be awesome. While I'd love to see him place in the top 6, it's gonna be really hard for him to place in the top 6 without having that back. So, I mean, so here's the thing. Kevin is beyond amazing when it comes to changing his body. He's, today, I mean, in his Flex Online interview with Bob Scarello, he talked about, he's like, my body's changing every 3 hours, you know, and then, at this moment, it's changing every 30 minutes. And so, who knows, maybe somehow tomorrow he'll step on stage, he'll turn around and he'll hit a back shot and you'll just be like, okay, and, he'll actually be able to fight. But honestly, if the show, if it wasn't Kevin Levrone and somebody else had stepped on the stage and done the same thing as him against Cedric McMillan, Cedric would everybody would be like, Cedric's gonna wipe the floor with that guy tomorrow. But you never know. I remember seeing, if you go back and you watch the videos of, Jay and Ronnie doing this right before the show, you would be like, that there's no way that's what Jay looked like, or that's what Ronnie looked like the day before the show. Like that's not possible. And then the next day, they'd come out and Ronnie would just be completely blown to shreds and, look amazing. And so would Jay, and so would everybody. So, there's a lot to be said for color and, diet, losing your water and carving up and stuff. So who knows? Maybe Kevin will really pull it out. Phil seems to be very confident with the way he looks. He's always confident. But I think he's a little bit, he's like, dude, nobody's going to beat me this year. So we'll see. Phil's probably going to be great. I really hope Sean Roten pushes everybody. I really hope Sean actually, gets that call out with him and Phil. I think that'd be awesome. Can you imagine? Honestly, with Phil in the middle, and then you have Sean and Cedric right next to him, I actually think Phil would lose. Because you look at Phil, and you're like, oh, okay, he looks great. From the side, he's awesome. From the front, his most muscular is great. From the back, his back to a bicep, amazing. And then you look at, but then you have like Sean and Cedric next to him, and you're like, wow, Sean and Cedric are taller. They're actually bigger than Phil. Their lines are better than Phil's are. They're pop. They don't pop the same way that Phil does, but they just look more eye appealing, and so you're constantly drawn to those two. Instead of when Phil would compete, like in 2011, your eye always went to Phil. So that will be a very, very, very interesting comparison if the judges decide to do that, and if Sean looks good enough for them to do that. All in all, guys, I am pumped for the Olympia tomorrow. I think it's going to be an amazing show. No matter who wins, it's going to be a great time. I don't know if you noticed, Phil is competitor number 19, and competitor number 18 is Kevin Levrone. So no matter what, we will see Kevin Levrone standing next to Phil Heath at the Mr. Olympia tomorrow during the comparison round. And the Battle of the Eras will really be a thing, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm so excited. It's one of the deepest Mr. Olympias since the late 90s, and it's going to be great. So with all that being said, guys, tune in to Amazon Sports Nutrition tomorrow to try to find the live stream of the Mr. Olympia, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern, the Mr. Olympia Men's Open Competition. I'm excited. I can't get enough. T-Flex Fitness on YouTube. Go ahead and follow me at T-Flex Bodybuilding, T-Flex_bodybuilding on Instagram. And if you have any questions or want more content, email me at tflex3fitness@gmail.com. And that's it for me. Signing off. See you next week, guys.